Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm back with another video for BBC Mindset. If you didn't watch my last video, I explained really in depth what the website's about and what its aims are, but as a brief summary, it's basically an all-in-one revision resource for people our age who are struggling with exams, school, social life, keeping up with everything, and just generally keeping yourself a healthy, well-rounded, positive human being. There's advice not only from experts, but there's also advice from people who have been through it, people our age who understand, and it's all wrapped up with videos from other YouTubers and lots of advice in loads of different formats. So I would seriously suggest you go and check it out. I will of course put the link on the screen, and I will also put it down in the description. Today's video is going to be a bit of an important video. I want to talk about how you can ensure that your mental health is not suffering, but also to make sure that you realise your full potential at school. I'm aware that mental health is a very touchy subject, and I don't want to name any specific mental health disorders in this video because everybody's different, everybody's unique, and personally I've not experienced every mental health disorder, I've not shown signs of all of them, so it would not be my place to talk about specific things, but I do just want to talk about mental health in general because I think it's something that often gets left out and kind of shoved in the corner of positive mindset, when at times a positive mindset isn't enough. So personally, I have struggled with mental health. Of course, you know, I've had it relatively easy. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. Please don't feel like you need to say that you're not struggling. I personally have suffered a lot from low mental health due to stress. I overworked myself in year 11, and even though I didn't feel it when I was doing my exams, as soon as I finished my exams I honestly felt so low. I did not want to get out of bed, I did not want to move, I had no motivation to do anything, I felt ill all the time, I was getting headaches, I just honestly felt the lowest that I'd ever felt, and I felt the same thing happening again in year 12. And at that point I realised that something needed to change, that I was damaging myself, and although grades are really important, nothing is more important than your mental health. So today's video is going to be a few tips as to how you can prevent yourself from worsening your mental health, but also keep on top of everything at school. So my first tip is to evaluate your current state of mind and ask yourself, how am I feeling? Not today, but in general. Have I noticed that I've been feeling lower? Is that because of any particular reason? So for example, if you're having trouble with teachers at school, or if you're having trouble with people at school, perhaps that's the main cause. It could be because of family problems, it could be just because it's genetics, you know, it runs in the family, it runs in my family, so that was a main factor in mine. It can be anything, and the main thing that you need to do is evaluate what exactly is causing this. Is it something that I can change about my lifestyle? Is it something that I can do myself? It might be worth going to a GP, going to a doctor. If you have not been diagnosed with anything, but you're seeing the symptoms, you're seeing the signs of, you know, an early mental health problem, it's seriously worth going and talking to someone about it, because if you leave it to fester and leave it to worsen without going and seeing exactly what the problem is, you're never going to be able to see exactly what is causing you to feel so low, or to feel so stressed, or to feel so distracted, or whatever it is that you're having. So I'd seriously suggest just sitting down if you're feeling out of sorts and trying to understand whether it's a temporary thing, whether it's just stress, or whether it's a more long-running thing that's being, you know, exacerbated by the stress, if that makes any sense. My next tip is learn to recognise when you are struggling. So everybody has personal symptoms. So for me, I eat a lot, like a lot. I just eat all the time, so I gain weight. I have sort of bouts of not being able to get out of bed. I get really bad headaches, like headaches that I can't even shake. I miss my periods, and I generally just get agitated and snappy to the point where something really small can just send me into the lowest mood for the rest of the day, and I don't want to talk to anybody, and I just feel like everybody's against me. That's personal symptoms. For other people it might be lack of appetite, it might be lack of being able to like stay awake, it could be fidgeting, not being able to pay attention, panic attacks, anything like that. I don't know, you know, what your personal symptoms are. Also as well, you have to recognise that it's all linked with lots of different types of mental health issues. I can't sit here and go through all of the symptoms, but in general you should be able to recognise what it is that manifests itself when you're starting to suffer and when you're starting to struggle, because in that way you can sit back and go, okay, I'm getting these symptoms again, I think it's time that I need to take my foot off the gas and I need to stop and reflect and sort this out before it gets any worse. My next tip kind of links with the first tip, but it is to talk to someone. If you feel like your mental health is either getting in the way of you performing at your best at school, or you feel like school is worsening your mental health and is causing you problems, then you need to talk to somebody. And it doesn't have to be, you know, your parents if you feel like they won't understand. You know, you could always leave me a comment anonymously, you can message me. There are loads and loads of helplines out there, Childline, Samaritans, the list is honestly endless. I will link some down below for you guys. Teachers that you trust, close relatives. Literally there are so many people you can talk to. Again, you could talk to a GP, you could talk to a counsellor, school counsellor. There are so many options for you if you're struggling, so please don't feel like you're alone. And a problem shared is a problem halved, in my opinion. So if you are struggling, do not let it fester. There will always be people in your life that are willing to help you, that are willing to be there for you. So please, please, please talk to somebody, because no matter what you do yourself to try and solve the problem, you really need somebody else to be there to support you through that time. My next tip is that self-care is so important. If you are overworking yourself and you are showing signs of mental distress, you need to take some time for yourself, whether that just be an evening, whether that just be a day, a week, it doesn't matter. You need to take as long as you feel you need. That being said though, do not keep taking breaks and convince yourself that you need them. Only take them if you are really struggling, if you really need them, because you can actually worsen your state by taking breaks more than is necessary, then falling behind on work and stressing yourself out more. So I would seriously recommend measuring the amount of breaks that you have, but taking them when you need them. That leads on to my next tip, is to figure out what makes you relax, what helps you switch off. Because I mean, for me, the main problem I had is, like, I'm quite high functioning, so my brain won't shut off and I think myself into kind of an oblivion, and I have like these horrible thoughts that just keep whirling around my head and making me feel awful. So what I did, I watched Bridget Jones, Princess Diaries, any funny rom-com chick flick. You could read, meditate, yoga, you could go for a walk, go swimming, do some sports, whatever it is that helps you switch off. You need to take your mind away from that place. It really would be worth maybe finding a hobby that you can invest your time into and invest your creative skills, and maybe like work away some of that tension and stress that is causing you to suffer. And finally is to pace yourself and to do your work well in advance. You don't want to be causing yourself any unnecessary stress, so I would seriously recommend making sure that you're keeping to deadlines. I have so many videos on my channel about that. Making sure that you're not leaving things to the last minute, because that stress, if you keep living your life like that, is eventually going to wear you out, it's going to run you down, it's going to worsen your health. So I would seriously recommend taking time to make an action plan, keeping on top of things, and making sure that you're living a healthy, balanced lifestyle that's not based on cramming, it's not based on last minute revision, but it's based on a balance of social life, sleep, healthy diet, I can't really say anything there, and revision and exams. So yeah. I'm also going to link Liv Rook's video down below. She did a really good video on what anxiety is. If you're struggling and you don't know why, then that video might help you to establish if it's anxiety that you're suffering from. There are so many videos on the internet that you can watch, but I would seriously recommend, if you are struggling, to talk to someone professional, a GP, counsellor, and get to the root of your problem. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and comment down below if you have any questions, if you need any advice, and I'll be sure to get back to you. And I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye! Mwah.